Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the world of Client Engager, and we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks I wish I knew when I first set out on using Client Engager itself. So first of all, what is Client Engager? Client Engager is a tool for accountants to be able to make sure that you have all of your client data in the right place. It's a practice management solution that means that you can sleep at night making sure that you deliver services correctly to your clients. Now, one of the best things about Client Engager compared to its competitors is that it gives you all the tools you need to be able to go out there and deliver a service that you want to. And what I mean by that is most of the other solutions out there, what they do is instead of giving you the tools you need, they make it so that you have to follow their way of doing onboarding, their way of doing client services, their way of basically running a practice. And that works if you can confine to their ways. But one of the biggest strengths that Client Engager is it is the tool set needed for you to run your practice pretty much however you want to run it. And that's my favorite bit about Client Engager. The problem is though, it's also probably its Achilles heel as well. You see, there's so many things that you can do with Client Engager that at the very beginning, it can feel like it's a little bit of a minefield. And that's what this video is about. I'm going to take myself back 12 months ago when I first started using Client Engager, and I'm going to say to myself, well, what did I wish I knew then to make my journey easier? So join me as we go on this adventure into Client Engager and we look at some settings and tips and tricks to make sure you're making the most out of the software. Hello, my name is Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning, 8:30 AM for Ask the Accountant. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of Client Engager. We're not just going to be talking about it, we're going to be showing you. So let's go straight into making sure that we get the most out of what Client Engager has to offer. And again, let's try and think about what I wish I knew back when I first started using it. Let's have a look. Okay then, so Client Engager itself. First of all, when you get in there, do start thinking about your core values and getting them included directly on that front page. It seems corny, but actually it's a really useful element, especially to try and get that instilled into the rest of your team. We basically looked at our core values, put them on at the beginning, left them there, and then realized actually our core values were just generic. And it gave us an emphasis to go out there and start thinking about new core values, what we want our staff members to log into and see each and every time. Now, this is a demo client, so don't worry about the core values here, although I do believe in them. But you want to be making sure whatever core values, and it doesn't have to be 5, doesn't have to be 6. If you just have 2 core values, make sure you've got them going there as soon as you go in. Now, my next tip, and the bit I wish I knew from day one, is all about notifications, because we love notifications. Up in the top right hand corner, it's going to tell you if anything's happened within Client Engager. And there's some key ones there. Client may have accepted your terms of service and wants to become a client. You're going to want to know about that notification pretty soon, right? So that you can start impressing them from day one. Client might have signed a document to go and submit an account or a VAT return or whatever it's going to do. Or a client may have filled in some form that you've asked them to do. In each case, it's probably really important that you know those notifications are there. And at the very beginning, when you first set up Client Engager, you need to play around with the settings to get that notifications just right for you. So what I would recommend you do is go into the settings area and you want to go down to the notifications area. So under the notifications tab, you're going to have all of this information. And at first it can be quite daunting of what it's asking us. But if you read each one, users to be notified when letters of engagement are signed. Basically, that's telling you which users you want to appear in this notification tab at the top there. Now, in our practice, we were able to go through and put director and manager, and you can then drop it down and pick an individual person as well. And that then would mean that they'll also get notified as well. And you can have as many of them as you want. In fact, if you really wanted to, you could go through and set each and every person to get notified as soon as it comes through. Now, the danger of having each and every person is the fact that someone could accidentally go and do things twice. Send them the same email again that the notification needs, or whatever it's going to be. So sometimes too many chefs can spoil the broth. But what we did in Boffix is that we actually curated a generic user. Now that generic user has a generic email address, and that generic user has access to every single one of these notifications. And what we do is during general meetings, during our work in progress meetings or our daily meetings, what we would tend to do is get one of the team to log in as the generic user, whoever's sharing their screen. And that way we can see a view of all notifications that I've had across the firm. And that way we can just go through, quickly looking through and just seeing if there's anything there that may have slipped the net or anything there that's gone through. And we just go through and basically read each one, make sure we're happy with them, assign tasks, pass them around, make sure people then know that they need to go and complete whatever they need to go and complete. And we found that to be a better way for us at this moment in time to feel confident that we don't miss any of these notifications. Because that's the biggest issue, right? If a notification comes along and someone just completely drops the ball and misses it, then somewhere along the line, you're going to be at a point where you're not going to be able to go and actually deliver that service for a client. And we don't want that. My next big tip is to go and look at this dashboard. At the beginning, again, the way that it's been built, you're just going to have a lot of information here that you may not 100% know what's right or what's wrong or anything that's going there. But I promise you, the most important thing you can do is use the settings option and start going through these dashboards to understand what is going to be right for you. This dashboard is so important. At the moment, I could set a countdown to, say, the 31st of January 2024, and then I could know how long I've got until my ITR deadline is ready. And then it tells me 18 days till I get that information too. And then I want to be going through this sort of information and making sure I've got stuff. At the moment, again, it's demo data, but it's telling me about £40,000 worth of outstanding debtors there. Probably something I want to be looking at. And I'd want to probably have this a lot at the top here if that's my responsibility. But also that might not be a responsibility for the rest of your team. So they may not need to know about that. Please spend some time going through here and seeing which of these dashboard items are important. The whole point of this dashboard is so that then you can make sure you go there. I've got one overdue accounting service at this point in time. Probably something I should be looking into. My second bit is to start thinking about using the automation. And what I mean by that is that if I go into any of the services that we have, you'll notice along here there's global auto reminders. And I would highly recommend that you look into setting these global auto reminders up as soon as possible, because this is where you're going to start seeing the biggest amount of efficiency and time saving for you and your practice. The idea of the auto reminders, if I press new here, is I have the option now to go through and choose a template, and it could be something like every time that my VAT return is day 21 and I need to get that done, I want to be sending out a record to go through that. Maybe it's an auto email to send the VAT records in straight away. I want ones for every time my year end to go through. I'd want a couple of days before or a couple of weeks before, a couple of weeks after, and maybe the day of the accounts as well. So I can start geeing up my clients to maybe booking a meeting with me or go through and actually send over information to us so that we've got the information we need. I really do highly recommend using the auto reminders service from day one. We didn't. We set everything up, kind of muddled through with it and forgot to put the auto reminders on, and then realised why clients were suddenly sending things in later than they used to, or sending stuff over to us prior to when we needed them. And that's because we were not making sure that these auto reminders were created. So please make sure that your auto reminders are all set so that you can get the most out of Client Engager. Now, this next tip is a tricky one to get your head around, but I do very much believe that once you've got your head around it, you're going to get a lot of benefits from it. And for that, what I say, if you go into a client, you want to be making sure that the service and pricing area here is all set up correctly for what your pricing structure is, because it saves so much time. For example, I need to say here that my trade is maybe healthcare and that my annual revenue is maybe 50k, and what client records and everything else, turnaround time and all that sort of stuff, that will generate a suggested fee up here. When I press explain, it's going to tell me how it's created that. Now, whatever your fee structure is at the moment, try and replicate it into this area just here. Because what that means is you can go through, put in what the information is going to be, press suggested fee, make an adjustment if you need to. That means your monthly fees are all going to be populated at the top there. And as you're going through turning on all the features and turning on all the services a client needs, and do make sure all your services are shown out here, then that's where the automation can really, really shine. For example, you can go through and you can set what the fees are going to be, what services they need. And as soon as then you go into service details, you can choose what their dates are going to be for their period ends that they need. You can also go through and choose what their internal deadlines are going to be, and you can put any notes you might need to put in for the rest of the team just here. But what's special though is because I've utilized this area here of service pricing and service details, that means I'm able to go straight into my letters of engagement, generate that letter of engagement nice and easily with a disclaimer just to make sure it's all okay. Again, you'd want to go through and look through to make sure you're happy with the letters of engagement, but you're going to have your quote put directly on here so that you can see exactly how that works. And I love that feature of Client Engager. It means that everything's all connected. I know then what services I'm providing for my client. I know how much I'm charging for that, and so does my client, because they will see that as soon as they go through and do their letter of engagement directly from here. So highly, highly, highly recommend. It's the hardest part about getting your particular area and how you're doing your fees, but the tools are there to be able to replicate your solution in Client Engager. And the sooner you do that, the quicker that you're going to be able to get more adoption with your client in terms of Client Engager. Because the second that they get sent that first letter of engagement, the second that you try and win them as a new client, they're going to be asked to come and sign up to that portal straight away. And we absolutely love that. Speaking of the client portal, definitely get used to starting to figure out what you can do within the client portal itself. So when you go in here, you can actually set what the folder structure is going to be to every single client. Just in settings, you have the opportunity to do that, which we love. But it's about making the most out of what information is in here. For us, we want to be making sure that we go in and we go to the accounts area and we would put the account working papers or all the information that we need there directly in here. But crucially as well, we want to be using this area to get clients to sign for their accounts as well. So when I upload a file, I'll then have the option to be able to choose that I need it signing and get that signed directly there. But also don't forget that you have the new PDF option just here. And we found this really, really powerful. The idea is you can pick a template here and put them in. And then from that template, you can then quickly generate something for a client. And examples of this could be that if you've just created a new limited company for a client, we have a template in here that means that we can automatically set their information they need so they know what to do with that new company, maybe memorandums, whatever it's going to be. We have templates in here so we can set them up straight away. So that as soon as we've provided that service of generating a company for that client, we can then go through and actually generate all the information they need to go in directly from here. And it just makes things so much cleaner and simpler. And it's going to make for you a much easier way to be able to deliver a service, because you'll have templates that you can create directly within that client. It's going to bring in all the information there. Pro tip as well, start thinking about adding some extra information maybe down here. For example, we've created a placeholder for where our clients' HMRC payments need to go. So then we can generate an email or a PDF that tells them how much they need to pay, when they need to pay it, how they can pay it, and has all that information already there. And having that available at your fingertips can be so beneficial. A, you can make it so it's automatically sent to clients, or B, if a client comes in and asks that question and they've asked that question each and every year for the past how many years, then you can automate that response by just going in, clicking a button, and that information gets sent off to them. And from our client's point of view, it means that that sort of questions like that don't really add much value to them other than just providing them the solution to make payment, we can then automate those as much as we possibly can and actually start dealing with client issues that really do help them. And then we can make sure that they get the information that they need. And my final tip is to make sure you use the integration area within Client Engager. Now you'll notice on the settings, there's a whole panel of integration options here. I would definitely look at trying to include as many of these as you possibly can. Analytics is great for being able to go out there and give you an opportunity to get information from the client. It's not for every practice out there, but for us, for the clients that we use it for, it's invaluable to us. We love having that opportunity to go and request from a client the information that we need. Company's House is absolutely essential to making sure that it's connected, and we'll make sure that you can have all the information that's held on Company's House about a client brought directly in. Cresco gives you an opportunity to make payments nice and easily for your services and fees that you have. Microsoft 365 and Google are all about connecting your emails, so you can have emails flowing into Client Engager, and crucially, when you send emails out, they're going from your actual domain. And then QuickBooks and Xero give you the opportunity to go through and connect those two solutions to Client Engager. So you can then see quickly what invoices you've got, maybe what invoices are outstanding for a particular client, all in one place. And we love that feature. And finally, Zama is an opportunity to completely streamline your AML, your anti-money laundering solutions. And it is a really good, slick way of being able to make sure that when you've onboarded a client, you can quickly then go and get them to get onboarded through the AML solution as well. Basically, definitely look at these integrations. There's more coming soon. There's more options that are there, but these integrations are designed to make it so that you are making the most out of Client Engager. So what do you think? Any other things that you would do when you first start out on Client Engagers? Let us know in the comments below. And also, is there anything that you think Client Engager could do more for you? We'd love to hear from here below. But my name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. If this video has helped you in any way, please do consider to using a like, subscribe, all that sort of functionality that will help us be able to grow the channel. The more people we can tell how amazing Client Engager is, I think it's going to be better for everyone. My name's been Aaron Patrick. This video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.